Hello and welcome to Jamie TV. Thank you very much for joining me. Hello Sam, hello Grant in the chat. I'm glad that you joined me because it would be pretty miserable if I was just streaming to myself, although I have done that. Can you just confirm for me in the chat that you can hear me okay and everything's working? Hi Ed, thanks for being here. Hi Daniel, Royer3, thanks for joining me. Okay, so I reckon that some of you who are going to watch this stream have probably already got this app or have watched some videos on it previously. I know that quite a few people have already demonstrated it, but I love it and you hear me fine. Thank you very, very much. Hi Notty, thanks for being here. Hi Paul. But yeah, I love it. So I wanted to demonstrate it myself. So I'm going to try and do it a little bit differently by using guitar sounds to sample and resample and effect and whatnot. This app is a whole lot of fun. And I've got to say that if you bought this app, I mean, at the price it's at, it's ridiculous. It's so cheap for what you're getting. Now, if you bought it just purely because you like a few of the sounds that it comes with, you would not be wasting your money. Let me just show you ever so quickly. I'll just go into the presets, and this one is a great sound. That sound is worth the price alone. That's fantastic. Let's just grab a couple more. Fantastic stuff. And oh, and this is massive. Hey Vortex, and just let me know when I'm playing, is that peaking at all? Because the levels all look okay here, but just let me know if the levels are okay. Thanks for being here, Vortex. I really appreciate that. And I hope, by the way, that wherever you are in the world, yeah, Sam, that's what you need. Go buy one. Yeah, I hope that the weather is somewhat better than it is here, because here in the UK right now it is as cold as a witch's tit. Honestly, it's freezing, man. But I have two heaters here in my studio, so I'm nice and toasty. All right, I'm going to just remember to change my screen so that you can actually see the app while I'm pissy panting about with it. There you go. And I'll press this button over here. Right, so what is SampleWiz? Well, some of you may remember the original SampleWiz. Obviously, I don't, because, you know, it's before my time. I wasn't even born when it came out. It's 10 years ago, SampleWiz came out, and so to kind of mark the 10th anniversary of Jordan Rudessa's app, it's been re-engineered by Bliss and super improved, and it's really magic. But what is it? What does it really do? Is it a synth? Is it a sampler? Is it granular? Well, let's just dive in, because it's kind of a bit of a thing on its own, really. Yes, you can sample a sound into it, easy as putting on a hat. And then when you look through all the menus here, you'll see, if you're familiar with Bliss's apps, what you've got is lots of modules that you will recognize from other Bliss apps that you can use to affect that sound and change it up and come up with something completely crackers. The best thing I can do is probably, maybe I should show you that. I'll show you this real quickly. All right, so when you look at the interface, now this is the interface as it looks inside of AUM, because I figured that was the best way for me to demonstrate it, because I want to get a guitar into my iPad. So when you look at the interface, all the menus are across here for the different modules of effects and stuff you can use. You have an on-screen keyboard, and you can have this view of the keyboard, or this one, or you can have this view, just the sample itself nice and close up, which is pretty cool. It's also got down here, we can select a scale, so we can have a chromatic keyboard on the screen, or we can go to diatonic, so it's just got the notes on screen that are in the scale that you select. So you can select what your root note of your scale is going to be just here, and you can make it major or minor, which is pretty useful. And if you go to MPE, now I completely missed this. I only just discovered this because hi Audible, hey Wal, thanks for being here. I thought, well, MPE settings, I'll not touch them because I ain't got an MPE controller. But it's not that at all. If I go like this, I can bend notes, which is awesome, because as a things with strings player, I still suffer from that thing when I'm playing a note on keys. I kind of vibrate my finger like I'm trying to get vibrato out of a note, which is why I should have an MPE controller, but I can't afford one. Hey Joe, thanks for being here. So, you know, so there's that, right? It does all that bendy thing. And you can glide notes too, which you can switch off. And you can adjust the pressure and everything for your MPE settings. Pain Target, thanks for joining me, man. Very nice to see you here. Now we can scroll the keyboard across. So if you are reliant on the on-screen keyboard, you can just go to scroll, and in here select whereabouts in the octaves you want to be, and we can hold a note on, which is pretty cool. I noticed you can't hold a note with an external controller. It has to be played on the on-screen keyboard. I noticed that. I notice these things sometimes. Okay, I want to just go back to chromatic there. We've got pitch bend and modulation here. And it works on my external controller as well. This controller, by the way, if you're curious about it, I made a video all about it. The Nectar Impact GX Mini, which I think personally is extremely far too low priced. It's a great bargain, and when it comes to the small controller keyboards, mini keys, 25 keys, without pads but with transport buttons on, if that's your bag, which it certainly is mine, this is one of the best things available, I have to say. Alex, thank you for joining us. Now, let's get into doing something, because there's that much in this app. It's kind of difficult to know where to start. So I'm just going to get stuck in, and I'm going to just record a bit of guitar, show you how it works, because that's kind of what I'm here for. I'll just come out of here and just show you in AUM. I've got the left-hand side of my interface coming in here. I've got Tone Stack Pro open, but I'm only using the tuner in there. So I've initialized it, got rid of all the amps and effects. I just need a tuner. And we're in tune. Magic. We still desperately need an AUV3 tuner. Just a tuner, AUV3. I really, really need someone to bring one out for iOS. Right. So yeah, that's what I'm supposed to tell you. So I've loaded the SampleWiz 2 as an effect. So that means that the guitar is coming in here, it hits the tuner, and then into SampleWiz. That's how we get the audio into it. The reason, by the way, that I've got this view here, this one, is because I keep trying to remember to use my mouse to point things on the iPad so that you can, on the screen share of the iPad, so that you can see what I'm pointing at. But I always forget I'm using my fingers all the time because I love the touchscreen interface. I'm not bothered about having an external keyboard and a mouse, really. So I thought if I have this view here so you can see what I'm doing with my hands, it might help a little bit when I forget. So to record, and I just want to mention, although right now you can see some audio, you can see a WAV in this screen here. When I press record, it's not going to affect that WAV, it's not going to affect that preset at all. We're beginning something new and that will be saved. But if you want to start from scratch with effects, so like right now we've got a preset on, so there are already some effects doing things. So we go to default, and then we've got a clean sheet. Let's press record, play some guitar in. Okay, now you can't start from the 1, but that's okay because once you've played it in, then you can use this handle over here to decide where the start point is. Hi fam, Flandering Bastard, thank you for joining us. I love your on-screen name. That's fantastic. Hey Gary, thanks for being here. Okay, so if I don't adjust this handle, when I press a key, there's a gap. There's a gap before the sound kicks in. So I grab the handle, bring it over here, and then instant note. We can also adjust that with this control here. I find it kind of easier to just use my finger on the actual iPad screen. Why am I still playing? Right, now that has been mapped to C5, which on my external controller keyboard is right here. But if I play a different note, it's been pitched across the keyboard. Which is pretty awesome. Now we can move that whole thing up an octave or two. And of course we can move it down. That sounds cool. You can double tap any parameter to reset it to 0. Now one thing that's really handy is right here on the screen we've got a gain, and you'll see the WAV decrease and increase in size as I alter that. Alright, so I've brought my volume up there, and we can fine tune the note if we want to pitch it slightly. That wasn't slight, Jamie, you stupid hippie. That's because I pressed the wrong knob. That's the tune knob. So that's moving it by a semitone, I guess, at a time. Yeah, and there's the fine tune for tiny adjustments. Okay, now let's reverse a note, shall we? Or reverse the sample, rather. When you reverse, the handles stay in the same place. So if you want to use a reverse note, you might want to move the handles. Okay, and we can, actually it would be better if I just played in one chord to show you this next thing. Let's just do that. Just move the handles, grab that one chord. Okay, Alex says, seems no time stretching to samples. No, there isn't. Okay, and then let's just change the loop mode. So the moment, the loop mode over here is just going forwards. The sample is reversed, yes or no? Well, oh, yeah, move my handles. Okay, I've unreversed it. Now, if I select the next loop mode down, it will keep looping around the audio. The next one down from there, we'll play it forwards and then reverse it. And we can select whereabouts we would like a crossfade to happen. Now this is a little faint, so look closely at my iPad share screen. If you've got good eyesight, you'll see an indication of where the crossfades are happening as I move this control. And we can change where the loop actually begins. So once it's played the original audio, then it will only loop back to where we put the loop start. Which is pretty awesome. Right, now, granular. Let's press the granular button. Now when I play a key, yeah, Roya 3, reverse guitar. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? I like that. I've got to say, I have thoroughly enjoyed pissy pantsing around with this app. Some people have asked, what is it like in comparison to frames or forms or frummus or whatever you want to call it. I think that for me personally, frames, as I call it, is a more in-depth, more serious granular app. This is much more instant and it's tons of fun. They both have their place. Yeah, that's what I think. Okay, moving on. I'm going to move some of these granular controls. So, granular, yes. So, granular synthesis, as explained by a stupid hippie who knows a small amount about synthesis, is where we take the original audio and we break it up into many tiny grains. And then we use various parameters to play those grains back to kind of slightly deviate from the original sound or to completely change it up. And these controls here give us control over how many grains, how quickly they're played, where they are in the stereo picture. Right, I'm bringing up the turbulence. Lower the speed. Bring up the spread. Increase the grain size. Bring it back down. Make it real small. Right? You could, yeah, agreed, fam. It definitely is. It's a much more instant app than Frames. Frames is well worth the effort to get into. Very, very serious granular synthesis. And I do love stuff from Imaginando. So I'm going to press this button over here for cloud, which gives us a different variation on this kind of process. Change the position where all the grains start to do their thing. This kind of brings in sort of a tremolo kind of a quality. Awesome. Now, something else that I overlooked until earlier today, I didn't notice. I can actually press on screen and make the audio play. And whereabouts I press on the audio will affect where it starts from. If I press Y pitch, I can move my finger up and down and pissy pants around with the pitch. Which, when I discovered this, I just did it continuously for about 8 hours. It's so much fun. And then if you press snap, when you do this, it will actually move by a semitone. Now, if I press this button over here, so that we get the close-up of the audio, you will now see these lines represent a semitone change in pitch. And it's probably quite faint in the stream, but if you look at the iPad share screen over to the left, you can see the notes between all those lines. So you can actually pick out specific notes and play them intentionally. Pretty cool. All right, so let's go back out of there and over to here. Right, now I'm going to show you the filter section next. Let's have a new bit of audio. Plectrum. For this, I'm just going to play one note. Seeing as how it's going to map it to C, I'll play a C and just grab my handle and bring that in. Okay. Oh yeah. I'm just going to turn off the granular stuff. I'll bring this handle in here. Now at first I thought you can't actually kind of do a little fade out at the end of the note to get rid of, like when you're playing guitar and you take your hand away and it makes a little string noise. but I just want to mention it now in case I forget later. When you go into the filter section, you've got ADSR, so you can change how long a note decays and sustains for, etc. So you can actually get rid of that little finger noise. I was going to show, oh yeah, before I show you the filter thing. In general, you've got a master volume. You can change it from polyphonic to monophonic. You've got all your settings for how your pitch wheel and modulation behave. There's also an arpeggiator. And it's got all your sync to beat. It's got up and down, just up, random, which I really like. We change the rate and make it dance around over more octaves. We can also gate the notes, so if I put it all the way up, it's not gated at all. Bring it down, you get very brief cut-off notes. I made a great sort of synth bass kind of a sound with this earlier and forgot to save it. And you can choose how many times a note is repeated before it moves on. Pretty cool. Oh, and I forgot something. Right, okay. So I sent a message to Bliss to tell them that I would be doing this stream a few days ago, actually. And I think they were having a few days off. Can't fault them. And they just saw the message today and sent me some codes to give away today. So I'm going to give away a couple of them on my Patreon account, because I think that's all, you know, the fair thing to do for patrons. But I'm also going to give away a couple a few days after this stream. So all you have to do to win a code, the same way I always do it, just make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't done that already, please do. Make sure you subscribe, ding my bell, and maybe share the video on social media somewhere. That would be nice. And just comment in the chat or in the comments under the video if you're watching this after the fact from the future, which gives me a nice bit of confidence that we've not blown up the world yet. Just comment, I want SampleWiz 2. And then I'll randomly select some winners. Okay. I was worried about forgetting that. I nearly did. Right, let's take that ARP off. I'm going to go over here to filter and... Oh, we've not done drive. Right, drive. So this gives me well, it gives me some drive basically. And actually, as I'm playing the guitar, I'm just going to take the volume down a little while I demonstrate this. It gives me more of that kind of guitar amp kind of a sound. Just being careful to monitor the output level here. Alright, we've got different drive shapes. The soft one is gorgeous. Hey Jordan, thank you for being here. I am honoured. We have other shapes too, like fold, which is really, really cool. And I'm going to go back to fold. I like that one. And the strength of the drive and how much we're blending it in. Then we've got a filter. which I love these Bliss filters, the way you can just stick your finger in the box and just do it manually. Take the drive off for a moment. Alright, so we've got low pass, we've got high pass, and we've got band and notch. We've also got an ADSR here for the filter, and we've got one for the amp. So I can take the attack down and make the note fade in. If I take the release off, I use this for the synth bass sound I made earlier. So it cut off as soon as I let go. And the degree to which you can manipulate a sound is just incredible. And you just, I mean, like sampling in the guitar and then pissy pantsing around with it, you just end up, you come up with a sound that's got nothing to do with guitar at all. Which is kind of why I wanted to demonstrate it with just clean guitar and not start out with a guitar amp sound. Now, modulation. For modulation, let's play in a really nice chord. We'll just trim it back. Just going to lose that drive there. But bring up the gain here. Just want to switch off these. Actually, let me just go to default and reset everything. Do that again. And okay, bring this gain up here. And now modulation. What we have to do is point it at something, some kind of parameter in the app. So if I've got granular going, let's loop it round. Then we set a destination. Let's make it granular speed. And then we can set a second destination. I could set it to the grain size too. All right, so now we've got another modulation module here, and then we have another ADSR. We can set destinations for this too. I'm just conscious of time. I don't want to run out of time, so I'm just going to move on from here and maybe come back a little later. Then we've got the motion sequencer. Right now, if you may have got the Bliss app, the motion sequencer app, which is awesome. Hi Gerald, thank you for joining us. And to make this work, right, you've got to have your transport moving in your DAW. When I first got that app, I was like busy pantsing around with it and nothing was happening. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Right? It's a motion sequencer, so there has to be motion. So let's switch it on. Oh, and actually what I'm going to do, I'm just going to nip back here to the filter. Okay. Sorry, I just twatted that camera, didn't I? Sorry about that. Okay. Motion. And I'm going to point this at filter resonance. Then we're going to draw in some motion. Right, now we can set this so that it moves along one every time we press a key. Or you can have it just moving along to the beat. We can make it really random. And we can change the amount by which it actually affects the filter. Starting to sound like a broken radio. Yes, Sam. It's just, you know, it's fun, right? Okay, now I'm just gonna show. Oh yeah, right. Now when you're drawing something into the motion sequencer, I'll just take randomness off. You can draw in something very, very deliberate. If you want to kind of snap the size of the things that you're drawing, just put a snap on there, and then let's just make this different for the last half. So it's very, very deliberate. Right, let's just slow it down. I'm just slowing it down, so, which I do with this control down here, just so that you can hear the difference. I do kind of like drawing in something kind of random and just seeing where it takes us. Another thing that you can do with this app, of course, is you can just simply press random and it will just throw some settings at you. Sorry about that one. That one might have been a bit intense if you're wearing headphones. Just crackers. And this actually is also a great way to learn how all of the parameters in these different modules work. Right. Now we've also got some delay and reverb, which are really, really nice. Let me just go back to here and I'm just going to play in a single note. Nice short note. And I've not shown you resample yet. I've got to remember to do that. Right, we'll just crop this. Oops. And actually, let me just reset everything and just do that again. Okay. Okay, one simple little note. Just bring up the gain on it a bit. Okay. Something that's worth noting as well, by the way, is you could actually sample in a monophonic instrument and make it polyphonic. So let's go to those effects, switch on the delay. As you would expect from Bliss, it's an awesome Bliss sounding delay. Which is currently ping-ponging. Let's switch that off. There's some more feedbacks on there. Right, switch that off. And the reverb is quite fabulous. And it has shimmer. I'm going to bring up the room size. And the modulation. Right, let me show you this. Bring up the modulation amount so you can hear it very clearly. And the rate, just so it really stands out at you, so you hear what I'm referring to. Right, now bring that rate down. Now make it more subtle. We've got right, shimmer. I'm going to bring the pitch of the shimmer up an octave. Shimmer delay time. Now the length. Let's colour it. Okay, now bring the delay back in. Okay, now I'm going back to sample and I'm going to make it play forwards and then reverse and crossfade. Right, granular. Right, so I've no need to feel kind of a little bit um, threatened by the fact that Jordan popped into the chat, because I can make it do all that and just play one chord. It's, it sounds immense. So yeah, I mean, you know, if you've never really done sound design before, like me, I mean, I'm a things with strings player. I really love to pissy pant around with with keyboards and stuff. I love synths, but it's not really my forte. But if you were looking for something that you could use to come up with a completely original sound and have a fun time designing the sound, this is the app. It's wonderful. Ready for a Jamiemal and a preset pack? Well, I don't know about that, Audible. I did make a sound earlier, and I called it Jamie's Useless Sound because I really like it, but I don't know what you'd use it for, but I really like it. Right. Okay. So resample. I'm gonna show you that. So let's go back to here. You know what I was gonna do for this stream was, I thought a bunch of people have demonstrated this app. So what I might do is not so much demonstrate it, but just quickly get on with creating a few different new presets, and then try and make some music with it really quickly in the stream. But you know, I just really, I thought, you know what? No, I just want to have a pissy pants around with all the knobs. So, Jamie's Useless Sound. What have we got here? Right. Let's take this down now too. So it occurred to me, I'm going to start from scratch again. And no, I'm not. I'm going to show you resample before I forget. Right, so resample. Quite a few people have asked me about this. I'm no expert, but what it basically means is if you have this button here set to resample, then when you press record, you can use this sound and record that. So it's easier probably to show you than to explain. So if I press record, okay, maybe didn't choose the best sound to do that with. So let's just revert to what I was going to do. Right, one note. Chop it. right? Then we'll do something to it. So maybe add some drive to it. Right, and then go back to sample, press resample and record. Okay, I'm clearly doing that wrong. Can you sample from other AUV3 synths? Yes, you can. Yeah, all you would need to do is you would need to just have your synth here. Oh, it's because I've got the transport moving. That's why it's not working. All you would need to do is have your synth here so that the sound from it is coming down into SampleWiz 2 opened as an effect. Right, so now that I've determined what I was doing wrong there, let's just record again. And go back. And then affect it with the drive. Yeah. Oh. Let's have that soft sound like that. Okay. So now if I press resample and record. Okay, it's still not working for me. I don't know why that is, because I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I did earlier. If anyone saw my stream last night, I had this disaster where I was trying to demonstrate something about mapping a MIDI controller to a Swarm instrument inside of Cubase 3, and it just didn't work. Do I need to use the on-screen keyboard, Sam? Okay, let's try that. And all I did was unplug the controller, plugged it back in again, and like magic, it worked great. All right, let's try that. So chop that down. And then, all right. So press resample, press record. And there, I've now got a new sample, which is like that, right? Okay, so I think I've covered pretty much everything. Let's just do one last awesome sound. We've got 5 minutes left before Doug streams. Before I start pissy panting around again, in case you missed it earlier, I have some codes to give away for this app. So if you want to win a code, you've got a few days to do this. If you want to right now put in the chat, I want SampleWiz 2, make sure you've given me a thumb up and subscribed and ding my bell. Maybe share this video on social media, that would be awesome. And if you're watching this after the fact, you can just put it in comments below the video. In a few days' time, I will randomly select a winner from everyone who has done that. And I'm also going to be giving a couple of them away on my Patreon account. Okay, so a couple of minutes left just to try and make an awesome sound. So just playing one note again, and then chop off that beginning bit. You know what? I'm beginning to understand why my resample thing wasn't working as I expected, because I'd got my keyboard down 2 octaves, so that's why it didn't sound quite like I expected it would. I never said it was perfect. Right. And there we have it. We've created another interesting sound. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take good care of yourselves. Be good people. Make lots of music. And do not piss your pants about. I'll see you later. Take care. Just trying to find the button that ends the stream. There we are.